Ah! It'll be great.
Yeah. Okay, Christina's here.
Nice.
Hi, Christina. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to turn on your camera or your microphone or just stay muted, up to you.
Hi, Christina.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Jassy. So good to see you. You can choose to keep your camera off on, or your microphone off or on, whatever you prefer.
Okay, thank you.
Yay! We're just going to give the other girls just a few more minutes and then we'll get started. Do you guys have any questions about anything before we start?
I don't yet. I probably
Okay.
will, but not right now.
Okay, great. Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're probably driving, so you can stay muted. That's totally fine. We appreciate your
Oh,
presence.
I'm
Oh,
not.
hello.
Oh my God, I saw Christine.
Christina's here too.
Oh,
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 so
I'm
happy to see
Christine.
all of you. Thank
Hey,
you for
girl.
supporting us.
Awesome. Oh, fun. Reunion.
Wow, Kelly, your hair looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I just got out of the ocean.
Oh, that's nice.
No big deal.
I went diving this morning.
Great. Wow.
Fun.
She's a dive instructor.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Well, then I know she probably knows something about breathing then.
exactly. Yes, this
Already.
will be
Breathful.
perfect.
Yeah. Fun.
Okay, great. Well, we're expecting a few more, but I'll let them in as they come. So we can go ahead and get started. I want to respect everybody's time. So, Nicole, I'll let you
Yeah.
lead.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Nicole Jordan. I'm out of Kansas City. I'm assuming you guys are all in Austin, Texas, but glad to be joining you virtually. So I'm a breathwork instructor here in Kansas City, and I teach at various like workshops and retreats and at a wellness studio here. And I've been doing that about 2 years. So me and Ashley connected because we're both really into health and wellness and thought that we could do a little breath work and then she can speak to different wellness topics. So I was going to lead you guys all through some breath work today. So we'll start with that. And I saw someone just joined as well. So hi, Sarah, welcome. And if you want to turn off your cameras while you do the breath work, feel free if you don't want people looking at you, if you feel uncomfortable with that. But we're just gonna get comfortable. So just invite you if you want to close your eyes, place your hand on your belly, and we're just gonna start with a guided meditation. And so just go into your natural breath right now. We're gonna breathe in through the nose and breathe into the belly and just feel the belly rise and fall. We're not doing any deep breathing right now, just getting familiar with the breath and that inhale and the exhale. And just take a moment to really set an intention just for the next 15 minutes as we're focusing on the breath and tonight through this session, what you want to draw and receive into your heart tonight. So, whether that's cleansing, clearing, detoxing, whatever you want to receive, if you want to pick that word or a phrase, and just focus on that as we go through the breathing techniques tonight. So, I'll just give you a second just to think of your intention. And just breathe in nice and slow into the belly. All right, so we're going to take the breath a little deeper. So I'm going to do a little counting at first, but it's just to get you used to breathing in deep, but then you breathe in and out at your own pace, what feels good for your body. So we're going to breathe in for a count of 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to exhale through the nose for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then exhale, nice and slow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So kind of keep that flow. If you need to take a longer inhale, that's fine, but try to keep that exhale longer than your inhale. And I'm going to take you through a little bit of guided meditation as we do this deep breathing. So as you continue taking those nice, deep, full breaths into the belly, breathe in and draw your attention to the crown of your head and the head space. And as you exhale, just let go of any noise that's in the head space, any tension you're carrying, and just exhale that out nice and slow. And then we're going to breathe in and breathe to the eyebrows and move your eyebrows up and down, feeling any tension stored in the eyes. And then exhale, letting out that tension. Then breathe in nice and deep and slow and breathe into the jaw space and open and close the jaw nice and slow. Just letting go of any stress that's stored in those muscles. And then exhaling nice and slow. And as you exhale, give yourself a soft smile once you exhale all the way, just for showing up tonight, for just focusing on the breath for a few minutes. And then breathe in through the nose, nice and deep again. Breathing into the shoulders now. And lift your shoulders up towards your head. And as you exhale, just let them fall down and letting go of any tension and stress there. And then breathe in nice and deep into the heart space. And just imagine a nice warm light radiating into the heart, receiving kindness, going back to your intention, then exhaling nice and slow. And then breathe in nice and deep and focus on bringing the breath to the diaphragm right now, your primary breathing muscle, and just feel that expansion, a little more spaciousness as you're taking these deep breaths, and then just let go on the exhale. Then breathe in again, nice and deep now, bringing the attention to the belly, feeling that expansion and feeling if it's a little looser, a little more space in the belly. And then exhale nice and slow. And then breathe in again, nice and deep. And we're going to bring the breath all the way down to the tips of the toes, just all the way through the body, receiving new light, new energy. And exhaling nice and slow. And then just bring your breath back to its natural flow, a natural breathing pattern. Going back to your intention, whatever you want to receive tonight. And we're going to move into analome vilome, which is alternate nostril breathing. So you can look at me, but I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to bring my thumb to my right nostril. And we're going to breathe in nice and slow into the left nostril. And you're going to breathe out through the left nostril. And we're going to do that a few times on that left side. So breathe in nice and deep again, keeping the spine tall and breathing in all the way to the belly. And then exhaling nice and slow through that left nostril. We're going to do this for a couple minutes, so kind of settle into this breath. Breathing through that left nostril is associated with calming and cooling. And we're tapping into our parasympathetic nervous system right now. take two more nice, full, deep breaths through that left nostril. Then we're going to use our pinky, move the hand over to the left nostril. We're going to breathe in and out through the right nostril now. And this is associated with activating the sympathetic nervous system. So this technique is just great for balancing out the nervous system, helping with anxiety and stress. Just remembering to draw the breath all the way to the belly, taking those inhales and exhales nice and slow. And just take two more on this side. Then we're going to balance out both sides. So we're going to take that right hand and bring down that middle finger and index finger and kind of make this U shape with your hand here. And you're going to bring your thumb up to the right nostril and breathe in through the left. Then we're going to release the thumb and breathe out through the right. Then breathe in through the right. Then breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left and out to the right. We'll do this for a couple minutes. If you want to add a little challenge, you can hold the breath at the top on the inhale. Just hold it for a couple seconds. Then exhale. Just take one more round on each side. Then whenever you complete that round, just release your hands going back into the natural breath. And then we're going to take the breath deeper into the nose and we're going to hold it at the top and then we're going to exhale through the mouth nice and slow. And I'm going to count for you and then I'll let you flow on your own with that breathing pattern. Um, if anyone here is pregnant, don't do the breath hold very long. You can do it for a shorter amount of time. So I just want to note that, just if you have any health concerns with that, no holding the breath. But if everything's okay, we're just going to breathe in through the nose for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold at the top for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And make a whooshing sound as you breathe out. Nice and slow for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in again through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, making that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, breathe in through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll let you just take a few rounds on your own, just settling into that flow. Then you can challenge yourself, see if you can hold the breath a little bit longer at the top. And just feel yourself relax a little more with each exhale. Just take 2 more of those nice deep breaths with the hold. And then when you're ready, let's come back to the natural breath. We're just going to rub our hands together. Then bring the palm of your hands over your eyes, just blocking out any light that's coming. And just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Once more, breathe in, and then let an audible sigh out. Rub your hands together one more time. Just squeeze both of your arms. And just give yourself a little hug, a little self-love, just for being here tonight, doing these practices with us. Thank you all for doing that short little session with me, and I hope that brings you into a little relaxation, and I'll let Ashley lead the next portion. Thank you so much.
Wow, Nicole, that was like amazing. I feel so much more grounded and centered and present. Like that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So glad.
Yay, great. Okay, everyone. Welcome to the very first session of Radiant Harmony. This is going to be a monthly breathwork and wellness circle. I'm Ashley Medina. I'm a certified health coach, medical professional, and someone who used to feel totally disconnected from her cycle. For a long time, I saw my period as something very inconvenient. It felt like a burden, and I just basically had to deal with it whenever it came. I was completely unprepared. And once I started learning about the phases of the cycle and syncing my life around them, everything shifted. And now I feel more energized, I feel more grounded, and definitely more in tune with myself than ever before. And so that's why I created this space just to help others experience the same transformation. So whether you're brand new to cycle tracking or you're deep in your healing journey, the circle is just where you need to be. So I just want to actually preface before we begin, just give you a quick disclaimer. While I'm passionate about wellness and cycle education, I am not a medical doctor, and this workshop is not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, um, anything of the sort for any medical condition. This information shared today is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Okay, now we got that out of the way. So this space is about empowerment, awareness, and support, not prescriptions. So always trust your body and your inner knowing. As a fun bonus today, if you fill out this short survey at the end of today's workshop, you'll be entered to win a free copy of Period Power by Maisie Hill. And this is the book that inspired so much of what we're covering today. So I'm so excited to share. Let me go ahead and get my screen up here. Okay, great. Okay, so let's take a collective breath in and begin. So my cycle awareness started with actually my boyfriend. He's the one that kind of prompted me to start learning about my cycle. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. Let me try this again because it's not sharing correctly. Okay. Okay, great. Okay. So my boyfriend actually was the one that prompted me to start learning more about my cycle. He would always ask me how he could support me better in different phases of my cycle. And I realized I didn't really know how to answer that question. I didn't know even where I was at that point when he was asking. And it felt like a little disappointing. Like, how do I not know this stuff? And so I picked up the book Period Power by Maisie Hill, and it completely changed the way that I saw my body, my moods, and especially my energy. And so as I began to understand that my cycle isn't something to manage or dread, it became clear that it's more of a roadmap for me. It's a powerful tool that I can use to guide myself through life. It helps in my decision making, and it helps me to take care of myself better. And now I'm really passionate about helping other women reconnect with that wisdom too. So you are not broken, you are just misunderstood. We are taught to view our cycles as inconvenient or shameful, and in truth, they hold deep wisdom. Learning to sync with your cycle is one of the most empowering things you can do for your energy, your relationships, and self-care. So in school, it never felt like we were really given any helpful tools or tips on how to take advantage of our cycle. We were shamed with like code names, not to tell people. Um, if you've experienced that, I totally did too. And for me, I always felt again like my cycle was this burden. And it was just something really annoying. I didn't even want to like track it. I just wanted to deal with it as it came. And actually, for years, I tried to get on the Depo Provera injection just because it stopped your cycles. I didn't want to deal with it. And then I continuously took birth control so that I didn't have to deal with it. Um, and so now that I think back about that, it makes me feel so much more empowered to be in tune with my body. So here is the hormonal level chart. So we have three hormones that are working with us during our cycle: estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. And this is all based in a 28-day cycle. So some of us don't have a 28-day cycle. For instance, mine is 26 days, and some people might not have a cycle at all, or they're very, very long. So in that case, I'll touch on that later about how you can track with actually the moon. So our first phase in our cycle is the menstrual phase. And Maisie Hill calls this our winter. So I love that she kind of compares our cycle to the seasons because it makes it very memorable and very easy to comprehend. Like, okay, I can totally align those. So estrogen and progesterone are at their lowest during this time. This is a time to rest, release, and follow your intuition. I love my winter now because I take the time to prioritize me. I work less hours, I give my body more sleep, and actually melatonin is higher naturally during this time, which makes sleep a little bit easier. I focus on nutrient-dense meals, and I do more relaxing exercises such as walking, yoga, mat Pilates, and I spend more time alone and really try to turn inward. I love journaling and reading during this period, and I definitely try to avoid caffeine and overstimulation in my winter because I'm very prone to anxiety and depression. And if I overextend myself, I definitely feel those feelings like increase in my winter. So, also in our winter, I personally experience pretty mild cramps, but prostaglandins, which are hormone-like substances, are the culprit for our cramping and period poops, if you guys ever experienced those. So, in said categories of medications like ibuprofen, Motrin, Aleve, those really help with your cramping, but you can also use curcumin, which is natural, and magnesium, also fish oil, acupuncture, heat therapy, of course, I'm sure we've all used that, castor oil packs, and orgasms actually help with period pains. So, pretty cool there. As far as nutrition, we should really focus on nutrient-dense meals, things that have a lot of iron in them, leafy greens, lentils, red meat if you eat those kinds of things. Those are going to help replenish the blood loss that we're going to be having. So warm and grounding meals like soups and stews, magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, dark chocolates, all of those yummy things to help support cramping and our moods. All right, so I'm going to open up here to our audience, and let's see here. Have any one of you ever felt like there's something in your cycle that you tend to resist or something that you've started to honor? What do you think it would feel like if you gave yourself full permission to rest without guilt during this time? So I'll go ahead and answer this. So how I currently feel about my period is now I welcome it. It's not something that I resist anymore. And I've actually learned to surrender in different parts of my life and especially in my cycle. And I really started to honor my hormones and listen more intuitively to my body. And I feel like that's helped tremendously. So, hey, great. Okay, so now we are heading into our follicular phase. We're going into our spring. So spring is days 6 through 13. And here is Miss Beyonce. So we like to say estrogen is our Beyonce hormone. So estrogen starts to rise, progesterone starts to fall, and we're feeling like we can take over the world again. Think of your hormone again as the Beyonce hormone, this estrogen hormone. When you're feeling your hormones, your estrogen is surging, your Beyonce hormone is surging. This is when you feel like, okay, I can breathe again. My skin looks good. I'm feeling probably a little bit more slim after losing all of that blood and bloat. And I feel like sexy and confident. This is a really amazing time for you to create new ideas and amazing time to start dating if you're doing that or planning social events. I really like to be definitely more social in this kind of phase of my cycle, and it helps me with my creative like workflows. I feel definitely more energized, and I feel like I could even use a little bit less sleep. So I can lift a lot heavier in my Beyonce phase, and I feel strong, I feel clear and happy again. So foods that we can prioritize during this part of our cycle is going to be light, fresh foods. So you think veggies, fermented things, salads, lean proteins, and we can support ovary function with B vitamins, zinc, and omega-3s. So this is a great time to experiment with smoothies and raw foods. Okay, I'm going to ask Christina, can you think of a time in your cycle when you felt suddenly more energized or motivated, like a fresh start?
Also, what you're saying, it's making sense, but I don't think I ever realized that when it was happening. So yeah, just like what you're saying, I never, well, like in the gym, I'll be working out and I'm like, I can go super hard or I can run faster or I can lift heavier, but I just assumed it had something to do with like what I ate the day before or like how much water I had. I never even thought it had anything to do with my period.
Yes, that's amazing. And I felt the exact same way. And so this, again, is just helping us to tune more into our bodies. So now we can prioritize those like really hard cardio days, lifting really heavy. And also, which is interesting in this phase, is that we're less prone to injury. So we can do those, crazier dead weights or do like a high intensity hit class. So I think that's really interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, and then this is the peak. This is the best part of the cycle, I think. I mean, I love my winter, but summer, I mean, who doesn't love summer? So summer is going to be days 14 through 17, and this is when we start to ovulate. So ovulation is happening during these times, and so our testosterone is at its peak, and so is our estrogen. So, our testosterone hormone is going to be Miss Powerful Serena Williams. So, we have Beyonce and Serena Williams in our corner here, and I think this is just so much fun. We're starting to feel very magnetized, like we're trying to really find a partner during this time because our body is saying, "Hey, I have an egg ready to be um to start having a baby," right? So we're going to feel super hot. We're going to be very flirty, feel very confident. This is a great time if to have sex for sure. But definitely if you don't have, a baby, then to try to plan around that. But this is definitely also a time when we are in our sexual prowess, like the peak of our sexual prowess, which I think is really, really fun. All right. As far as foods in your when you're ovulating, I would think still like lighter foods. You're probably going to need a lot less sleep. Also, I will say that in your follicular and your ovulation, this is a good time to drink, actually, to drink alcohol because your body can just handle it a lot better. It's not as stressed as it is in your winter or your fall. I like to plan, again, more high intensity exercises, public speaking, and interviews. And I definitely value more wind down routines during this time because I feel like I do have that extra energy. So breath work before bed, journaling, and anything that kind of just lets you to wind down, a little bit more naturally. Okay, so I wanted to ask Miss Jassy, what's something you've noticed when you're feeling at your peak, when you're feeling more confident, more social, or more expressive?
Hi, thank you. I can definitely tell during my summer, my ovulation phase, that I'm more eager to get out with friends. And I think definitely the relatable as far as drinking. Like I feel like my body can handle it a little bit differently. Um, and how I respond to it, how I feel the next day, but also just being more involved in, or I guess getting out more, staying up late, being able to tolerate things that maybe in my other seasons or psych part of my cycle where cannot, I don't feel as motivated to do certain things.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And it's so true, right? Like these surges are happening so subtly that we can't really feel them. But then, the day comes around and we're like, oh my gosh, I have this great burst of energy and I can talk to everybody and I want to see everyone and have a great time. And it's just like so much fun. I just love being in tune with the cycle in that way. All right. And then we are heading into our fall. So our fall is days 18 through 28. And Maisie Hill calls our fall and when progesterone is surging, our Kristen Stewart hormone. I'm actually starting to like my fall a little bit more, even though I do get definitely more moody in this area. So estrogen is decreasing and progesterone is on the rise. Again, progesterone is our Kristen Stewart hormone. We start to feel very focused, detail oriented, definitely more sensitive emotionally and physically. So this is a great time to slow down and start listening to your body. Decreasing weightlifting by 10 to 15 pounds if you're doing like a, heavy leg day is really important because at this moment in our cycle, we are very prone to injury. So we shouldn't be lifting as heavy. Try to back off from the weights. Focus on nutrient dense meals to give you that extra energy and support. And then maybe put off new social events or maybe hang with friends that kind of like know your cycle as well or support you during this so that you don't have to really nurture new relationships, I would say. What I like to do also is to back off cold plunging during this time. So I'll plunge for like 2 to 3 minutes in my spring and my summer, but then I'll back off to maybe even just 30 seconds in my fall and in my winter. Or I'll just stick to cold showers just to get that extra boost. But your body is starting to feel a lot more stress during this time. So we don't want to overstress the cycle. Try to prioritize yourself and avoid getting into your winter feeling exhausted. So try to try to not overextend in this period of your time and in this period of your cycle. For me, I'm really prone to anxiety and depression and insomnia during this phase. So I really, again, turn to breath work, reading, meditation, and yoga. Um, an interesting point that Maisie Hill makes in her book is avoiding sugar and cow dairy, also alcohol, to prevent cramps and pain during your cycle, which I thought is so interesting that it would like bleed over, literally bleed over into your winter. So, foods that we can prioritize during this time is complex carbs, root vegetables, magnesium, B6 rich foods for mood support, minimizing that sugar and caffeine to reduce PMS and anxiety. You definitely will feel more fatigued or have disrupted sleep. I definitely can feel the insomnia coming on and going, and I try to actually track it in my log so I know when to expect it. Creating calming bedtime rituals is going to be really key in this time as well. All right, Miss Nicole, have you ever felt more sensitive or inward or and judged yourself for it during this time?
Yeah, like I'm with Christina. I had no idea about how the cycles impacted me, but I'm literally in this fall right now. Like the last 2 days, I've been a complete zombie. I can barely like function sometimes, and I'm starting to not like shame myself for being like not super productive and just, sitting on the couch and doing absolutely nothing is totally fine sometimes. Like I'm accepting that and letting that be okay. And like you said, I'll focus on breath work, but sometimes even that I'm not motivated to do. It's just, it's hard, but definitely starting to learn more about it. So, yeah. And I definitely crave chocolate this time of the week. So it's kind of sad I have to stay away from that.
Well, I
But
think if it has, oh, thank you so much for sharing because yes, I feel the same. My energy totally plummets. And yeah, I mean, I honestly don't crave chocolate, but I do crave like some sweets. But I think if it doesn't have a lot of caffeine, like all of these things are moderation, right? Like you shouldn't eliminate everything. If it makes you feel good, then that's okay. All right, perfect. So I want to go ahead and open up the chat. And I would love if you guys to think about what it would look like to work with that energy. Um, let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's do this one. What's one way I can support myself more fully in my luteal phase? So if you can think about that, what's one way I can support myself more fully in my luteal phase? And if you can type that into the chat.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, please. Yes, of course.
I I don't get a period and I don't know what phase or cycle I'm in. I know that I go through like these cycles, but I don't know how to know when I'm in what or where to start because I don't have that period because I got this implant in my arm.
Hmm.
And so I don't know how to figure out when I'm in what phase.
Yeah, that is a great question, Kelly. Thank you so much. So when we don't have a cycle or it's really, really long, I'm going to speak about next how we can align it actually with the moon. So it's very interesting because the moon is on a 28-day cycle, like some of us are. And so it's going to be a really good way to kind of track your moods and your energy that way.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so if we want to go ahead and type in the chat, let me get my chat up here. What's one way I can fully support myself or support myself more fully in my luteal phase? Jassy, I love that. That's amazing. Allow rest, listen to my body. I'm not being lazy. My body needs a rest. Yes, that's so true. So I feel like as women, we are people pleasers. That's kind of in our culture. And we have a hard time saying no sometimes. But what I've learned from this amazing author, Byron Katie, is that a no to somebody else is a yes to myself. And I think that is so powerful. Like it's okay to say no. And you don't have to sugarcoat it. I mean, you can be kind about it for sure, but it's okay to have healthy boundaries and it's okay to say no. Nicole, amazing. Yes, I allow myself to chill and take the pressure off of keeping to do things, right? It is so important for us. Like we are such nurturers and we give so much of ourselves every day that allowing ourselves this rest and to prioritize you is so important. It is such a wonderful skill to have. And I think a lot of us struggle with that about saying no again and all of those things. So I love that. I love this. This is great. Perfect. Sarah, I love that. I can let myself cancel or reschedule plans. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And your friends, the parties are going to be there. All of those things are going to be there. But your mental health matters and your body matters. Kelly, I love that journal, sit in nature, watch Survivor. Yes. Have quality time and dinners with people. Yes, I love that. So I think communicating with our friends, our families, our partners during about our cycle can help them to support us. And we can open up that area of communication, right? That's going to bring us together. People love to support each other. And so if you let them in on, hey, I'm in my luteal right now, I'm kind of not feeling like going out. Can we do dinner at our house? Like people like that. They want to know what's going on. And Magda, modifying workouts and prioritizing sleep. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Love that. Okay, great. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I love this. Okay, let me go ahead and we will go on to the fun phases here. Any other questions?
Yeah, what I guess I'm struggling to figure out kind of a difference between the follicular or no, like the winter and the fall. They kind of feel like a little bit of the same vibe, would you say?
I think so. So, I actually feel more depressed, for me in my fall. I feel a lot more moody, which is like PMS, right? And so once I get into my menstrual cycle, I feel like, oh, okay, I can breathe again because I know what's here, right? I know that I'm bleeding. And so it's similar, but the hormones are just a little bit different. So progesterone is rising a little bit more in our luteal, and then it kind of mellows out in the winter.
And the winter is when you're actually bleeding.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Okay, so now we're going to go into the moon phases, and I love this. I think this is so interesting. Again, not everybody has a 28-day cycle. For instance, mine is 26 days. Or if you're on hormonal birth control or don't bleed, you can track ovulation naturally. And you can still work with a cyclical rhythm by syncing to the moon phases. Also, during perimenopause, you can use the moon phases as well. I work with a lot of transgender people, and so I actually suggest this sometimes because cycle syncing is not gender exclusive. Many trans men, non-binary, or non-gender conforming people experience cycles, even if it's uncomfortable or complicated. So syncing with the moon can feel more emotionally neutral and help to reclaim the connection without dysphoria triggers. This is body sovereignty, working with your rhythm, however it just shows up. So here is our moon here. So the waxing moon is going to be our follicular phase. Well, let's just start with menstruation. So our new moon is going to be our winter menstruation. Again, this is the time to slow down, maybe set an intention going into your follicular phase. Definitely, I recommend tuning into how you feel each day. So journaling is going to be really good for you, Kelly, to kind of see how that aligns with the moon, because then you will start to see a pattern. So after we menstruate, then we're going into the follicular phase, which we're going into our spring, and that's going to be the waxing moon. So we can take inspired action here. And again, we're starting to feel good. Our Beyonce hormone is starting to surge, and we're feeling like we got our stuff together again. And then we get into the full moon, which is ovulation. And that's going to be our Serena Williams hormone when testosterone is surging, and Beyonce is there as well. So, again, great time for dating, for having sex. And if you're trying to conceive, obviously, this is the time that you really want to do it. And then we're going to go into our fall, which is the waning moon. And this is our luteal phase. So when our Kristen Stewart hormone, progesterone, is starting to really surge here. And this is my waning moon is when I start to feel more anxiety. My insomnia starts to kick in. I'm beating myself up probably a little bit more in this, which is like sad, but it happens. But we can start to really prepare for our winter in this area. All right. Now I would like to talk about how alcohol affects our cycle because this is something really interesting that I didn't know until I read this book. So alcohol can disrupt the hormonal imbalance and negatively impact each of the phases of the cycle. It can delay or suppress ovulation by disrupting estrogen and progesterone production. So if people are having trouble getting pregnant, the first thing the doctor is going to say is stop drinking alcohol. It can also worsen PMS symptoms like mood swings, bloating, and breast tenderness during the luteal phase. And I've definitely seen this happen, so I really try hard not to drink during this time of my cycle. Also, alcohol is going to impact liver function, which is essential for metabolizing excess hormones. It also disrupts that REM sleep that we really need, which is especially harmful during the menstrual and luteal phases when your body needs that deeper rest. It contributes to inflammation and blood sugar imbalances, which can make the period symptoms way more intense. It can also reduce the absorption of vital nutrients like magnesium and B vitamins, which support cycle regulation and emotional well-being. So if you're working on balancing your hormones, you could probably consider reducing or eliminating alcohol at least for one full cycle and just observe how your body handles that. Many women report easier periods, more stable moods, and better energy when they cut back. So for most of my life, I tried to push through, ignoring the highs and lows of my energy, mood, and motivation. I would definitely beat myself up for needing more rest, and I would overcommit socially all the time. I would feel frustrated when my workouts weren't clicking, and I really thought something was wrong with me. But once I started learning about the four phases of the cycle and how to align them with my life, everything started to really make sense. I realized my body was never the problem. It was the expectations that I was placing on myself to operate the same way every single day. So here's what cycle syncing looks like for me now. So now I can definitely align my content and travel around ovulation. So I feel very creative when I'm in my spring and in my summer and around ovulation, of course. And this is when I feel the most magnetic. I feel very confident, connected, and definitely expressive. I love traveling during this time, being seen, and even exploring new things in the bedroom with my partner for sure. I no longer question why I feel on fire. I just embrace it. During the follicular and ovulation phases, I naturally have more energy and focus. So again, I lift heavier, I tackle bigger goals, and I feel excited to be outward in the world. I ride that wave and give myself full permission to go after the things that light me up. In my luteal phase and in my menstrual phase, I turn inward. I intentionally schedule rest. So it's not a backup plan for me, it's my priority. I reduce my intense workouts, I get more sleep, I read, I meditate more, and I let myself slow down without feeling guilty. I don't overcommit to social plans during this time, and I really try to protect my peace and allow space to reflect. And most importantly, I communicate openly about my cycle with my partner, about where I'm at and what I might need, whether that's space or softness or extra support. I can say, hey, I'm going into my fall. So, like, if I'm a little more short, like, this is why. So, I think it's like, again, a wonderful communication tool. My partner is very, very, very supportive and he's very tuned in. We're actually on a period tracking app together. So it kind of nudges him to tell him where I'm at in my cycle. and he will surprise me with like a wonderful steak dinner when I'm menstruating and cook really nutrient dense meals for me when I'm in my fall. So I just absolutely love that it's built a connection for me that way. When I'm in my winter and when I'm bleeding, it makes me feel just very like feminine and seen. And it's really deepened the connection with myself. So cycle syncing didn't just change my habits, it changed my relationship with my body. And it changed my sense of self-worth. It taught me to honor my rhythm and not resist it. And now I can help other women reclaim that power too. So it feels very special to me. So tools for cycle syncing, there's tons of apps out there that you can use, and I use the one called Flow, FLO, and I really love it because again, I can add my partner onto the app, which I think is such a great tool. And I also started journaling. You can journal actually in the app as well. But I kind of just say, like, how do I feel today at this point in my cycle? Where am I at in my cycle and what am I feeling? What do I need more of? And what do I need to just release and let go? So, really, again, just give your body that permission to rest. Does anyone have any questions?
I do about how I guess I feel like I can't. Everybody is not going to be like in their menstrual cycle and the new moon to the next phase, right?
Right.
It's just you're just calling it that.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you're not actually having a cycle. So your body starts to just like align. It will go through a cycle even though you're not bleeding. So you can look to the moon as like, okay, this could be my winter. This could be my fall. So maybe try to do it. I've been menstruating now, and I haven't tried tracking it with the moon. So I would definitely encourage you to try to do that and see if it starts to work for you. See if you can find any patterns.
Gotcha. Okay. That like basically that circle could shift.
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
the
Well, I think the moon
moon
cycles, like,
phases like
I think the phases are probably accurate. Um, But again, like not everybody has the same amount of time in each of the phases, so it could definitely be a little bit off.
and then when were you saying like to it's best to like not drink or the alcohol part? It was like what was that during your when you're bleeding?
Yes, so when you're in your fall, so when you're in your luteal phase and when you're menstruating, when you're in your winter, are not the best times to drink because your body's going through a lot of stress at this point. And so throwing more stress, like breaking down alcohol, can just make your symptoms even worse. All right. So any other questions, Kelly?
No, thanks.
Okay, perfect. So let's reflect together here. If you want to open up the chat box, which phase resonates with you the most? All right, let's see here. Summer and winter. Yes, Jassy, I love that. I always thought I preferred my summer and my spring, but actually I love saying no now and I love just prioritizing myself. I think it's amazing. And I never gave myself that permission before. Winter, yay! Summer and fall. Great, great, great. Spring and summer. Summer is so fun. Yes, that's true. It is. Okay, how has your view of your cycle changed? And I'm sorry we're going over. If anyone needs to step out, I want to respect your time. Knowing more of it and how it feels more empowering. Thank you, Nicole. That's great. Let my body experience these feelings. Yes. It's so much more powerful when we're listening, right? Instead of trying to drown out the messages that our body is sending us. Yes, Kelly, I think you have definitely some research to do. I like being prepared and knowing what's coming. Yes, absolutely, Christina. I totally appreciate that as well. All right. And then what's one new tool that you'll try this month? I just downloaded the Flow app. Cool. Thanks, Sarah. That's awesome. Moon phases, great. Journaling, wonderful, Nicole. So awesome. Okay, great, great, great. I love this, guys. Thank you so much again for showing up today. This has been so amazing, and I hope that you learned a lot of information. I know that was a lot, and I hope that you'll enter into our survey at the end so that we can give one of you guys the Maisie Hill book.
So great to meet with everybody tonight.
Thank you, Ashley and Nicole.
Thank
You're
you.
Yes, yes,
welcome.
thank you, both of you.
Thank
Thank you
you,
guys.
guys. Yay! We're so happy to have you. I hope we'll see you guys at the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, have a great week, everyone.
Have a good week.